Hello everyone, and welcome. This is going to be another day trip in preparation for a camping trip. I've got some time off a little bit later in the week, and Anna and I want to take a few days and come out and do some camping. Not sure exactly which day we're coming out. It's a toss-up anywhere between Tuesday afternoon and Thursday morning. But either way, we're going to be out here for at least 3 nights, hopefully 4. We're hoping to come out at least Wednesday morning. So that we'd have Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. But, depending on the weather, we'll take what we can get. But I'm here today to check out the site. We've camped here before, but I wanted to make sure that there was no deadfall over the winter or anything that was going to hinder our camping. And while we're here, I'm going to cut up some firewood. So let's go have a look around the campsite, see what's going on. So here's the canoe. I've got it tied off to that little tree over there. That way it's not going to take off on me while I'm here working. It's a beautiful spot. There's the fire pit that I built up last year a little bit. Still got a little log there that I can use. Perfect. There's a few poles here that I can use to hold up the tarps because we're planning on bringing the hammocks. Now, last year, when we brought the hammocks, we had one set up from this tree to that tree over there. And then I had jerry-rigged one way down here. That's where I had stayed. But we need to have space to set up a tarp because they are calling for a little bit of rain this week. But it's a fantastic view from up here. Okay, I think I've got it figured out. We're going to do what we did last year. We're going to set up one hammock coming from this tree, going down into that tree right there. I'll have to set another hammock down below. And then over here, I can go from this big tree here over to this little tree. And I think that's going to give me just a big enough space for the 9x9 tarp that I have. So that's the plan all figured out. Fire pit's here. We'll have a hammock down in the hole over there. We'll have a hammock behind this little tree here. And then we'll set up a tarp just on the other side of these trees to have a dry spot to sit if we need it. Now let's go see about getting some firewood. So here's one. Nice and tall. Straight. Well, straight-ish. Barely any bark left on it. None left towards the top. Right behind it, there's this other piece. Most of the bark is off. And then I think I see another one back there. Let's see if we can get these down. Before I do any cutting, I want to push on it a little bit just to see if it's going to snap and fall over. Oh yeah, it's broken down here. First things first, let's get the axe and deal with some of these branches before we start cutting it up. Now that I got a lot of the branches off, I'm going to take the katana boy and I'm going to cut this up into more manageable lengths that I can haul back to camp and cut up. Now, I brought the firewood here to cut it up, because here it's a little more open. I've got a little bit more of a breeze. In that bush it was getting way too hot. Whoo! And I got here later than I wanted to. I got to get lunch going. So if I'm cutting firewood here, I can have lunch going and keep an eye on it while I'm working. We all know I'm a big fan of the alcohol stove now, but today it's not about the peace and quiet, it's about getting work done. This will be a little bit faster. And I don't have to worry as much about the wind. And I can set this here, and I can be just over there cutting wood and watching it. There we go, there's a flat spot. And again, lunch today, nice and easy. Creamy bacon carbonara with some ham. I didn't want anything complicated. I wanted to be able to spend as much time as I could cutting wood. Should be enough water. Now a lot of this is fairly small, so if I can just break it over my knee, that's what I'm going to do. Save a bit of time and a bit of effort. down to a slow simmer. Break up and toss in our ham. Oh. Well, lunch is ready. Ooh. Hot. I've got quite a bit of that wood cut up. I'm going to finish lunch. I'm going to go back to cutting up some of that wood. I'm going to split some of it. I brought a small tarp with me. I'm going to carry it back in the woods a little bit, cover it with the tarp, just so that it's not easily spotted from the water in case somebody happens to go by. That way when we come camping, the wood should still be here. Now, I'm going to get the axe, kill a few mosquitoes, and start splitting this up a little. We're off to a good start. This will probably get us through, I would say, at least 2 nights. So if we end up staying for 3 or 4, I'll have plenty of time to go and cut a bit more. Now, I cut and split everything that I had brought. And once that was done, I went back and got one more tree. Put a couple of logs on here just to try and keep the tarp on as good as I can. Whew. And now we're going to go sit and have a drink. Oh, I wanted to sit here because it's in the shade, but it's a little more open. There's more of a breeze blowing through. Keep the bugs away. Of course, the second I sat down, the wind died down. And all these bugs followed me out of the woods. Oh well. I didn't bring anything to get rid of them. I didn't think I'd be here that long. And I was just coming for the day trip, and I knew I was going to be busy, so they wouldn't be bothering me very much. When I'm working, I don't really notice them. As soon as I stop though, wow, they're nasty. And I got a little bit of everything here. I've got mosquitoes, I got some deer flies, a wasp or two. Whoo! The joys of being in the woods. Well, we got a good start on that firewood. That should keep me going for at least 2 nights. And then once we're here and set up, there's always a bit of dead time here and there where I'm looking for something to do, so I take off in the woods and I come back with a bit more firewood. It's easier to replenish a little bit as I go than it is to show up and have to set up the whole camp and start cutting enough firewood for the night, and coming in a little bit ahead and pre-cutting a little bit makes life so much easier when we get here. If it's just an overnighter, it's not too bad. But like this is going to be a multiple day, so it's going to be a little bit of a bigger setup. The more time I have to set up, the better. I don't have to worry about the firewood right away. Perfect. So I think I'm going to end things here. I'm going to finish off my drink, load up the canoe, head on out of here. That way I can start packing and getting ready for this upcoming trip. I am so looking forward to it. I want to thank you all for coming along. Always a pleasure having you here. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. And if you're going to do that, you may as well hit the notification bell. When you do, there'll be a drop-down menu. In that menu, select all, and it should let you know whenever we put out a new video. Mosquitoes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.